Selam dostlar, hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Bugün sizlerle beraber Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1'a kaldığımız yerden tüm hızıyla devam ediyoruz. Hepinize iyi seyirler dilerim. En son bu partiye gelmiştik ve bu partide biraz sağda solda dedikodularla bir şeyler öğrenmiştik. Bu partiye davet edilmiştik. Bu şeydeki kervansaraydaki de şu fotoğrafı da verdiğimiz ressam yollamıştı bizi, çağırmıştı bizi buraya. O da burada. Şurada odalardan birindeydi o. Unuttum yerini şimdi. Şuradaki odalardan birinin içindeydi o. Orada oturuyordu. Neyse, şimdi bize bu sunak odası diye bir yerden bahsetti. Oraya git dedi. Hemen gidelim. Bir şeyler var mı? Da yok. Bir ara sahne girdi. Oh. Bir cinayet.
My God. Was he here this whole time?
İki kanıt güncellendi diyor. Neler onlar? Tamam. Tamam, sunak odasının anahtarı. Bir şey daha var vakalarda. Tamam. Cesede bakarız en son, bir şu etrafa
Herbs
bakayım
here
önce.
are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony. This elaborate box must be for the ritual.
Aynen, ritüel için kullandığı hançer orada. Bu kutunun içindeymiş
This
normalde.
oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly. This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus drawn in a hurry.
Aceleyle çizilmiş diyor.
The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars.
Kurbanın eşkali. Bunlar kurbanın kanıyla çizilmişler. Tamam.
The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars.
Bunu okumuştuk, tamam. Oraya bakarız. Önce şu cesede bakalım bir.
A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage.
Önce kafasına bir şeyle vurulmuş olabilir.
This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart.
Kalbe kadar ulaşmış diyor.
This crude tattoo partially covers a slave branding.
Köle damgası mı? Elinde bir şey
The
mi
victim
var?
has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. He died right here.
Tam burada ölmüş diyor. Şimdi bulduğumuz şeylere bir bakalım. Tamam. Kabzasında bir kan lekesi var. Onu bulduğumda Fabio ölmüştü diyor. Kurban edilmiş. Muhtemelen. Canım sen ne zaman geldin lan?
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion.
Bir tanesi yanıyor. Yananla ilgili bir şey demeyeceğiz mi?
An open wound spoiled the carpet.
Kanla lekelenmiş. Kafasına şişeyle vurulmuş, bu şişeyle.
A sturdy bottle met a not so sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened.
Kırılmadı çünkü ağzı açık değildi diyor. Doğru. Ağzı kapalıyken kırılmamış olabilir. Tamam, bırak. Bir şey daha bulacağız burada. Ne arıyorum da? Aa, buldum galiba aradığım şeyi.
Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
Başka bir şey yok. Bizim adamla bir konuşalım bakayım bir. Şununla.
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest,
Bizi bunun için çağırmış zaten. Biliyor.
Cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right. Then pull yourself together, Werner.
Bunun gibi geceler
What is it
hakkında.
about these nights that you were so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere. Often with more stains than your typical crime scene. But that is the point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then? Was anything different?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form. I like to let life entertain me.
Or death. How did you discover the body?
Cesedi nasıl
Between
keşfettin?
guzzles of alcohol.
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio, and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh, who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were
Filling time?
waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
Kurban tanıyor
Were you
muydun?
well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance, and more.
Odanın
When
kapısı
you
açık
discovered
mıydı
the
ha?
body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key.
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later only to find the lock was not blocked.
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
The police
Polis?
remain unaware of this tragic event?
Yok
Some
bence.
of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
Adam haklı. Gizemli bir olay varsa orada biz varız.
Mr. Manchos is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And
Allah
for
Allah.
ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
Bana
What
ritüelden
about the
bahset
fertility
bakayım ya.
ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil. Not this travesty that seems straight out the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? It is nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
İki kanıt.
You've got a lot to do, Sherlock.
Yapacak çok işim var diyor. Haklısın. Çok işim var yapacak. Nerede manyak var bizi buluyor. Matista. Tamam. Evet, şimdi ne yapacağız? Şu arkada bir oda vardı sanki.
The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it.
Et kan
Blood
lekesi.
clots are adhered to the sides of the drain.
Burada elini yıkamış.
identical to the robes the guests are wearing. Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set. This is a different ritual.
How can
Matiste.
anyone accept such behaviour?
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
Tamam. Şuraya bakalım bir de.
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Banchos.
Fabio içinmiş bu.
Would you recognise me in one of these? I suppose not.
Aynada biz yokuz. Allah Allah, bir şey daha var burada. Anahtar, anahtar. Bir anahtar.
The
F.
key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me.
Ha, aynen.
The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
Olabilir. Olabilir. Aa, kanlı
Similar to the
şey.
guests' robes,
Cübbe.
from the bloodstains. You've got a lot to do, Sherlock.
Tamam. Şimdi kanlı bir cübbe bulduk diyor. Tamam. Tamam. Tamam. Tamam. Hüseyin Sarayı'na bir bakalım. Fabio'nun anahtarına dokunulmamış diyor. Şimdi bunu bir kullanalım.
A person leaned against the doorframe.
Kanlı el
Left a
izi.
smudged trail of blood.
John hiçbir fırsatı boş bırakmıyor ha. Hemen suya girmiş yüzüyor.
A bloody handprint on an armchair.
Koltuğun üzerinde de var, yerde de var.
The wounded person was here for some time. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think
Tamam,
I can
bakalım.
deduce what happened here.
Nasıl yaşanmış olaylar? Onu bir çözelim artık. Oo, bayağı büyük. Bu seferki. Yok. Orada değil. Bu. Bu. Bu olabilir. Dur. Sonra kapıyı kilitlemiş. Bu. Tamam. Bu.
You're not even trying, Sherry.
Tamam, şu
Concentrate.
sürüklenerek götürülmeyi yapalım. Bu değil de şu olsun.
The
Tamam.
bottle was
Bu.
used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door.
Tamam.
The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room.
Tamam.
Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed
Sonra da
himself
ellerini
and took the
yıkadı.
clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
Az önce yerdeydin diyor. Tamam. Bence bu. Sonra kendi anahtarı var katilin. Vaka defterine gel. Aynen. Anahtarların kimde olduğunu bulursam bu işi daraltırız.
I'm starting
Gel
to put
bakayım.
the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
Aynen.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after
Gözünden
being
hiçbir şey
knocked out in
geçmiyor.
the next room and placed here.
Nedenini henüz
Do not
bilmiyorum.
know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it
Bilmiyorum.
was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all.
Kanıt koy.
The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar room?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please, be
Altın
discreet.
yıldızlı,
You don't
yıldızlı.
want to risk disturbing the revelry. I know you can.
Tamam.
Tangle this mess.
Sherlock, don't forget to find the information I need before the guests leave.
Oğlum senin istediğin şeyi nereden bulacağım ben ya? Uğraşamayacağım. Ben direkt bu adamın yanına gideyim.
I need a rest from my insatiable wife.
Bizim adam nerededir acaba?
I like wearing this
Yok,
mask.
sen değilsin.
I feel mysterious.
Yok. Bu tarafta mı acaba? Dur bakayım bir. Yok.
Manchios had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
Aha. Bir daha yapacağız. John senin bilgiyi bulmuş olabilirim John.
Manchios had to enforce.
Tamam.
I'll pin them down with this scoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
Tamam, bunun isteğini yerine getirdik. Şimdi şu adamı bulalım ya. Nerede bu adam? Şu mu? Hayır. Lütfen.
Let me see that stallion up close. Let me see that stallion up close.
Ya gene takıldı
Tell
ya.
a friend about the handsome men here. He'd appreciate it.
Gene dışarıdayız. Bir de her kayda döndükten sonra farklı bir yere ışınlıyor.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Excuse me? What? I'm not sure I know. Welcome, sir.
John'un isteğini yapmıştık biz. Yaptık sayıyorsun değil mi? John. Bakayım. Tamam. O altın yıldızlı diyor, bu adamı bulmamız gerek ya.
Honey, you feeling lonely? I'll be your friend.
Bu kadar zor olmamalı.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I can't help you with that, sir.
I've worked up an appetite since the last party.
Kurt Manchos, I presume.
Lan bu muymuş?
I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must
Bundan
be
50
the one
tane
I
takam var ve
talking
farklı
about.
bir şey arıyorum.
What a sweet voice you have. It must belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
As you wish, Mr. Manchos. Mr. Vogel asked me to help you. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect the murderer to still be here.
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
Tamam.
I need to find all
Kimlerin
those
işi
who
mi
had the
vardı?
key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Matista ve Santos. Santos
Who is
kim?
that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. In his opinion, at least.
Nerede
I'd like to speak
bulabilirim
to
onları?
Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with them?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos... Oh, yes. He will be busy with the servants. Or the cook. What's that noise? What's going on?
Ne oldu lan?
Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.
Polisler geldi lan. Bir dakika. Oha, o ne lan? Yuh, ne oluyor lan? Lan bizi de mi tutukladılar?
Committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologize for the inconvenience, Your Grace.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I emphasized it in my statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like you. Thank God we have Vogel in his letter. Once I get to that goldfish, I'll...
Bigwig. Oh, my wretched brother Mycroft and his long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes? Are you the youngest son of Violet Holmes, rest her soul?
Tanıyor musun onu?
Not personally, no. Not exactly. I was working on the paperwork for that case.
Aha.
Would you happen to remember anything of the events?
Well, I
şeyler
didn't make
bilebilir.
the inquiry, but I remember seeing some notes. Why?
You must help me. It would mean a great deal to me if you could find any information about that day.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? You know what? Stark and the others think they're the smartest here, thanks to you. Let me get this straight. Are you listening to me, lad?
I'm all ears.
Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have on this table.
Tamam. Zaten onun için oradaydım ben de.
Copper. Question the suspects, make them sing, give me something substantial.
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away from here. If you slip or mess with the evidence, then trust me, your brother won't save you from my bludgeon. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody asks, then you're a consulting detective.
Let's make a start then, partner.
I'm glad we managed to get the scoop before the raid.
Baskın sahnesi çok iyiydi ama. Tamam.
Back on track to solve the case.
Tamam. Delilleri aramayız. Ne o bize verdiği kağıt muhtemelen. Birisi Santos. Bu adamın kahyası. Direkt oradaki olayı görünce polise gelip söylemiş. Ondan dolayı polis baskın yapmış zaten. Tanık da karakoldan çıkıp eve gitmiş Santos. Bu Santos'u bir bulalım ya. Cinayeti işleyip kaçıp kurtulmaya mı çalıştı acaba? Duvarın arkası görünüyor. Dur bakayım. Tamammış orada. Göremedim bir daha.
Look, I found Werner.
Şu zihin sarayı önce bir vakalara bir girelim. Tamam. Tamam. 5 ve 6 numaralı sorgu odalarının anahtarları. Tamam. Tamam. Zihin sarayı. Tamam. Aynen öyle. Anahtardan bahsetmemiş. Tamam. Tamam, bunu söyleriz. 5 ve 6 numara diyordu. Şunu söyleyelim de.
Have you considered
Dostum,
Mr.
bunu...
Santos Pinchetti as a suspect?
The snitch? Have you seen him? I mean, my breath could knock him down. What's so special about him?
As a major domo, he has keys that open all the rooms, including the one to the crime scene. Could have testified only to circumvent suspicion, don't you think? We need to question him.
Right. I'll send our men to fetch him. Stay here.
Tamam.
They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to interrogation room number
Tamam.
7. Mr. Pinchetti
O da
didn't
geldi.
resist, our men said.
Thank you.
Direnmemiş. Tamam.
You can question Mr. Pinchetti in the interrogation room.
Bunlar partiye burada devam ediyor bildiğin. Şimdi tamam. Evet, adam da orada şimdi. Biz öncesinde bir buraya gidelim. 5 ile 6'ya gidelim, 7'ye gideriz. 2 3 4
Good day,
Selam
Mr.
dostum.
Manchios. I am Constable Oswald's partner in this investigation.
Be quick and gentle. Some of your colleagues are untrained boors. Although I don't mind meeting young officers, the new blood here.
If you cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will be no need to meet with the Boers again.
That voice. Werner's friend? You're the policeman. What a disappointment.
Only
Yo,
undercover
yo, polis
agent
değilim.
can scour a ditch full of deviants. I am a consulting detective, although I'm capable of replacing the entire department through my consultations.
Sharp-tongued, I like it. May I presume this tongue will get us out of this trouble? I would be so indebted and glad to repay you.
Nothing's changed. I'm looking for the murderer. That's the only way to get us out of trouble.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct? We're all busy after all.
I need to examine you first.
İncele bakalım bir. Makyaj yapıyor. Nerede lan sonuncu? Heh, burada. Yani. Olabilir. Olabilir. Temizlik takıntısı. Bence yaşını gizliyor.
You are a little over the top with your use of makeup, Mr. Manchios. Is it so difficult for you to acknowledge your age?
Well, Sherlock, that's easy for you to say to an old man when you look as though you are barely 15.
But still, it shouldn't be an issue for someone of your status.
Doğru tahmin
For
ettik,
people
tamam.
of my age, it isn't an issue, no. But the younger ones can be so afraid of wrinkles and grey flecks. I have to adapt.
Such a methodical man who cares for his body but misses the soap under his fingernails. Are you so impatient, or perhaps even impulsive?
I wouldn't call myself that. Silly little details. If I missed it, it wasn't important. Or rather, it was less important than who or what I was focused on.
Fabio nasıl
What was
biriydi?
Fabio like? His personality, his habits. Anything you can tell me?
He was the brightest star of my parties. Young, magnetic, and full of energy. I don't
Tamam.
even want to mention his beauty. Otherwise, I'll be sobbing.
An expensive champion, I imagine.
His performances were flawless. He deserved his payment. Do you think he was murdered because of money?
Bilemiyorum.
Possibly. What about the other guests?
O da
Were they
olabilir.
used to opening their wallets as well?
I wouldn't restrict my guests from anything. I'm sure Fabio received a few coins from others for his services.
Mr. Vogel told me a little about your parties, but I would like to know more directly from you.
I'm all yours, Sherlock. You have me arrested and locked here with you alone.
Vogel'i neden
Why
davet
did you invite
ettiniz?
Mr. Vogel as your special guest?
He's a pretty fellow. He's capable of surprising the public. He has a talent for saying words that no one else would wish to either say.
Açık sözlü bir adam, o
I
doğru.
suppose I can't argue with that.
He is a free addition to the eccentricity of the party, which is fine by me, as long as it enhances my party.
Kimler
I'd like to
davet
know who
etti?
you usually invite to your parties.
Free minds who are able to leave reality for an evening, who can taste forbidden fruit without prejudice. There is nothing that quite spices up life like these parties, assuming one is old enough and has worked many years for the good of one's country.
Oh, all true labourers, I see.
I've no idea about that. That's not something I know much about. That's not something I know much about. You'd better ask someone else.
Do you have any idea who tipped off the police to raid your mansion, Mr. Manchios?
Of course. It was you. I could even say you Sherlocked me in here.
A good guess, but the wrong one. The fellow who did that was Mr. Pinchetti, your major domo.
What? Santos? But
Aynen.
how could he even know? If he's not the murderer himself. The ungrateful swine. He has dared to besmirch my reputation.
Not a very eloquent choice of words.
What should I call him then, since he's a snitch? Make him talk, Sherlock. I'm quite certain he knows more about the murder than he has told the police.
O konuda ben de ondan şüpheleniyorum.
I've no idea about that. I've no idea
Ona
about
boşuna
that.
basıyorum ama
You'd better ask someone else.
hepsine tıklamış olayım diyorum.
I've no idea about that. That's not something I know much about. You'd better ask someone else. That's not something I know much about.
Tamam.
You'd better ask someone else. That's not something I know much about.
You bought
Bueno.
an expensive pair of cufflinks for Fabio. Were they his price? Or were they a tip for an exclusive show?
It was pure business. Fabio escorted me a few times. I was merely showing my gratitude.
This pair cost a small fortune. You must be extremely grateful then. Tell me more.
You've thrust a knife in an exposed nerve, Sherlock. Yes, he was my protege and my beacon also. With my experience and his beauty, we could have achieved anything. I had faith in him. I would have made him.
Tamam. Şu vaka defterindeki yeni şeylere Fabio hep ona pahalı hediyeler veriyormuş yani Fabio'ya. Fabio vermiş. Ha tamam, Fabio'ya veriyormuş hediyeler. Tamam. Ters anladım bir an. Oo. Bulduklarımız neden gitmiyor? Eskiden giderdi. Tamam. Diğer sorgu odasına gidelim. Matista sen misin?
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald. You are Matista, Fabio's friend.
This body, yes, it's Matista. But it's a mere shell that will die someday. Just like Fabio.
Please accept my condolences for your friend.
Thank you.
I'm just here to ask questions and find Fabio's murderer.
It will not bring Fabio back.
Bir gözlemleyelim bakalım. Ablamı. Tamam, dövme var. Gergin. Oo. Kendine... Bunda da köle işareti var. Bu da köle işareti değil mi? Bileklerinde bir şey var. Pranga izleri. Bence bu.
Fabio and yourself were slaves, am I correct? You have a similar branding on your body.
Yes. It was a long time ago.
Beyaz köle de mi
Couldn't
oluyormuş
help
ya?
but also
Onu
notice
bilmiyordum.
fresh cuts upon your forearms.
The cuts helped me to forget my past, to cover the old wounds and hide them.
How
Doğru.
did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs.
Analizimiz doğruymuş.
I made him fall, and he died. We ran away that day. We managed to get on a ship and traveled here, to Cordona. Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at first, but it became better with time. Until today.
O çürükler
The
neden
bruises on
oldu?
your neck are not self-inflicted. Someone else made them.
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite, sometimes.
Bence bu değil ya. Sanmıyorum. Şu adamın yanına bir gidelim artık. Ama o adamın yanına bence önümüzdeki bölümde gidelim ya. Video çok uzayacak yoksa. Burada bence noktalayalım, artık buradan sonrasını önümüzdeki bölümde devam ederiz. O zaman videoyu beğendiyseniz ve videoları beğeniyorsanız kanala abone olmayı ve bildirimleri açmayı unutmazsanız bana destek olabilirsiniz. Ayrıca videoyu beğenirseniz sevinirim. Hepinize iyi günler. Görüşmek üzere. Hoşça kalın.